BB851, turn right heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
Today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. The way we move forward from this global pandemic in an international travel sense is still very much up in the air, with many people not sure what's next. However, we've had probably arguably the biggest update surrounding just what the future of international air travel does look like, and that's following comments made by Qantas CEO Alan Joyce on A Current Affair, a regular TV show aired within Australia. Today, I'll really take a look at what the CEO said during this interview. With work rapidly taking place to create a vaccine for the current virus that's impacted the world, again, I've got to be very careful what I say on YouTube so it doesn't censor the video and or block it. Talk is surrounded who will be getting it first, what getting the vaccine will mean, and so on, with many still, of course, skeptical on that front. Alan Joyce has said, though, that if you wish to board an international flight for travel either in or out of the country with Qantas, you'll need to show proof that you have received the said vaccine. If you don't show this proof, you will simply not be allowed to board the aircraft. What are your thoughts on this very quickly below? The video is not meant to act as an anti-vaccine or anti-vax argument, if you will, or trying to get to the politics of it. However, I'd be interested to hear your take on whether or not you believe the comments made by CEO Alan Joyce will resonate with more executives who will take a very similar path to that of his. Mr. Joyce said specifically, though, in the interview, "We're looking at changing our terms and conditions to say for international travellers that we will ask people to have a vaccination before they can get on the aircraft. Whether you need that domestically, we'll have to see what happens with COVID-19 and the market. But certainly for international visitors coming out and people leaving the country, we think that's a necessity." Australia has not taken this global pandemic lightly and has been very, very strict with everything that has been taking place, with government-enforced quarantines, travel bans, domestic borders shut, and so on. Rather than, say, a quarantine as an example that is just based on the individual just staying at their house on their own guard. Qantas has already grounded the vast majority of their aircraft, including notably their wide-body aircraft like that of the A380 and also the Boeing 787. The 787s, though, have been used sparingly for rescue flights through to the United Kingdom, but other than that, the carrier is not flying scheduled international operations, and many of the A380s have been parked up in the desert where they will remain for a considerable amount of time, with it even being quoted at potentially a couple of years. What does this decision from Alan Joyce, though, mean for the future of the aviation industry, and more specifically us, returning to travelling internationally in a post-global pandemic world, or society, if you will? Well, the pandemic has certainly changed a lot of people's views on health and more, that's a given. However, the reaction from the comments by Joyce have received mixed reactions. Decisions in this regard from other airline executives will greatly depend on the effectiveness of a vaccine and so on, and whether specific executives of governments believe it is mandatory to apply that to oneself, and so on. There's many ifs, buts, and maybe, and also we have to take into account when some countries can actually acquire the vaccine if they aren't, say, one of the big Western countries, and so on. Will that potentially prevent future travel? That all remains to be seen. During this lockdown period, we are stuck inside. Therefore, we're also likely using the internet a whole lot more than we typically would. And that's why having a safe VPN, like NordVPN, can protect you in these instances. With more people than ever currently online, and given it being the Black Friday sales, more people are using their bank details online and purchasing items. Therefore, people can very easily snap up your bank account information. NordVPN can help you to stay invisible online and protect you from unwanted interruptions, as well as information being stolen. Home Wi-Fi configurations are also not as secure as offices, hence the need for a VPN. You can get NordVPN at the link join on your screen now, also in the description and pinned comment. However, this time I am pleased to offer you a special deal, and that is the Black Friday deal. So with every purchase of a 2-year plan, you will actually get 4 additional months completely free on NordVPN. A brilliant deal if you ask me. So once again, though, I ask you, what are your thoughts on the decision that has been made by Qantas CEO Alan Joyce to ensure that all passengers have proof of taking the vaccination before they fly internationally with Qantas? Let me know down below. And as always, thank you so much for the continued support, and also over to NordVPN, who help power the channel continuously by sponsoring certain videos here on the channel. Please continue to take care and stay safe, and do consider showing NordVPN some love as they help me continue making these videos on a regular basis for you when AdSense can, of course, not be incredibly reliable given the current state of affairs within the world.